Welcome to Your Music Saved Us, where two friends blast ourselves into the past to relive and recontextualize the alternative Christian music we grew up listening to in the 1990s. My name is Jay, and I'll be your host for today. With me is someone who is ready to take a reckless leap of faith into this album, Clifton. Clifton, how are you doing today?
I got the heart of a hero. Good.
Okay.
Loving this shit.
Yeah. What are we listening to?
We are listening to the 14th studio album, I think, from the godfathers of Christian hard rock, Petra.
What's it called?
No doubt.
I'm just going to say that I hope we never do another Petra album, but there's so many. If we do, we're running out of stuff, out of material. Clifton, was this hard to find?
No, it's everywhere. You just type it into Google and it'll give you like 14 places to listen to it from.
I also saw on Spotify that Petra still has like 150,000 listeners per month.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Me either.
But I guess they're out there.
There's like message boards out there dedicated to Petra, so they're still fans, doing their thing.
Was this played in your youth group?
I don't remember it being played in my youth group, but I can see it being played in my youth group.
Yeah, we definitely had some older Petra heads at my church. Some of them would taught Sunday school for us youths and stuff. So same. I don't directly remember it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I would say early on, like when I was in junior high, my youth group was still small enough that the youth group Sunday school teachers were kind of involved in the regular youth group portion. But by the time I was in high school, we were so big that the Sunday school teachers were kind of only used for Sunday school because they were too embarrassing for the kids to see outside of that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids will stop coming on Wednesday night if we show those guys are present, right?
There's too many adults present, yeah.
Yeah. Are we getting preached at on this album?
Are we ever not getting preached at on this album?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty preachy.
Yeah. Well, one of the reviews I have refers to the lyrics as fifth grade Sunday school.
I was just going to say that. It's funny you mentioned that because it does feel very less in your face preachy and more Sunday schoolish.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me lay down some facts here.
Right.
Just some basics of Christianity. I don't know.
And you made me watch one of the videos associated with the song.
There's two videos.
I watched them both, but one of them especially is very Sunday schoolish. So
my God, yes.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Okay. I want to remind everyone that's listening to visit patreon.com/YMSU to contribute to get extended episodes. We're recording at least one episode, maybe two, after this today. So there will be some fresh stuff. By the time you hear this, there will have been some newer Patreon episodes in there.
And the last episode that came out with a special patron-only extra song.
You're right. Which actually is fairly long considering we were just covering one song.
Yeah.
So, So, what are you waiting on? That's the real question, right? Okay, Clifton. I can't wait for this. I have seen your notes. I've seen that you've made it as you've obviously kind of summarized this as well as you could because this could be 10 pages long.
Yeah. I was not going to go more than a page. Yes.
But tell us about Petra.
All right. Petra formed in 1972 by guitarist Bob Hartman and a few other people who aren't pertinent to anything we're talking about today.
Okay.
They started out playing kind of bluesy Jesus music and spent their early years really struggling to gain church acceptance because of their electric guitars and rock and roll energy. Yeah. Played a lot of coffee shops in those years, but did get some church gigs and stuff like that too. By the mid 80s, though, they'd evolved into a hard rock powerhouse and broken through with albums such as More Power to You in 1982 and Beat the System in 1985, carving out a niche that was kind of equal parts evangelical message and big hair power chords.
Okay.
But then they went through a big lineup change. They'd gone through lineup changes before this, but I don't care about them. Longtime vocalist Greg Voltz left the band to pursue a solo career.
Clifton, I'm going
Yes.
to pause you right there. It's Greg X Volts.
Sorry.
Just so you have it correct. The
Greg
old
X.
heads at my church who were into Petra, when I asked about it as a wee lad, would be like, well, I was really kind of preferred him in the Greg X Volts days.
Sure.
John
Yeah.
Schlitt, not so much, but
Yeah, sure. That's fair.
Anyway, wanted to make sure you gave him full credit. Sorry, go on.
Greg X Voltz left the band to pursue a solo career, and Bob Hartman reached out to former secular rock band lead vocalist for his lead vocalist for a band called Head East. Never heard of him. Who had recently become a Christian. His name's John Schlitt. Asked him to join the band, and he did in 1986. This would lead to the most successful period of Petra's career. They teamed up with John and Dino Elefante of Kansas fame, and over the next 7 albums created kind of an arena rock sound that sold out arenas, Except for one Praise album, Petra Praise The Rock Cries Out came out in 1989. During that time, they teamed up with evangelist Josh McDowell, touring with him and playing to crowds of over 8,000 people per night. I'm going to quote here a whole paragraph from Wikipedia because I just find it fun. Seeking to build on that growing influence, Hartman and Schlitt turned to youth ministers directly at a conference in California, asking them how Petra could better aid their ministries. The response produced some music that would be better placed in a church setting. So we thought, what if we do a CD with worship songs that we think are cool, but do it Petra style and then provide an accompaniment track for the youth groups? In 1994, Bob Hartman, the only remaining member, who was also the guitarist and songwriter, decided to retire from touring, and John Schlitt took over the band kind of on a day-to-day basis. Petra was always a band that appealed to the youth, despite spanning over 2 decades at this point. They set out to do the same with this album again, but the music landscape had changed quite a lot in the early 90s with the rise of alternative rock, grunge, and pop punk. Nonetheless, Schlitt called No Doubt, released August 1995, the best record we've ever done. But for many fans, No Doubt marks the beginning of the end, or the beginning of the final era of Petra. More introspective, less aggressive, and honestly created by middle-aged men. Both Hartman and Schlitt were around the 45 to 46 years old range at this time, and increasingly disconnected from youth group kids. Petra on this album was Louis Weaver on drums, John Schlitt on lead vocals, Ronnie Cates on bass and backing vocals, the youthful and gorgeous Jim Cooper on keyboards, Jen Exard brought in to make the girls swoon, and David Likens on guitar.
Thank you, Clifton.
Yeah.
When did this come? Why are we doing this album?
I don't know. I don't remember it. I remember that I listened to it, but man, I put it on and don't remember any of this.
Wow.
Not 1 second of it.
So no memories of this.
No memories.
You don't remember buying this. You don't remember.
I remember listening to it. So I always had a boom box in my room, right? And that's where I listened to my my Eagles, when I was 12 years old, and my Mariah Carey and my Boyz II Men and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But I remember it broke, and I had stolen a bunch of change, like when your dad empties his pockets at the end of every day,
Yeah.
I would harvest the change every day.
Oh,
and I saved up enough of that.
It's like a long-term mission. Every day
Yes.
he's just like, whoop, whoop.
Yes. Yes. And I'd saved up enough of that to buy a CD player, like what's the little one, the Walkman type thing.
Walkman. That's still
Yeah.
like, I don't remember how much Walkmans cost in the mid 90s.
Like $120.
Let's say that's like, you were harvesting a lot of
Yes.
change.
Oh, yeah. But my parents figured out what I was doing. And I guess when I told them that I wanted to take all the change that I had to go buy a CD player, and I got in trouble for it. And I remember I had to listen to this album on the living room stereo sound system.
Oh gosh. One of those big ones that also had like a turntable.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
even
Yeah.
8
It was
track.
like, I mean, like there was a whole, like, I mean, the people who are out there listening to this know what we're talking about, but the CD player was its own unit. And
Right.
And the amp was its own unit, and the turntable was its own unit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then there were like speakers all around the room and wired with little 18 gauge cables and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yes, one of those dilly-those.
So do you think in some ways that's why you don't remember this as much, because you had to listen to it and like with your family?
Probably. Also, it came out kind of at a time where my music tastes were evolving very quickly. Like from Carmen pretty fast over to slightly more acceptable things like Newsboys and and I'm gonna put Jeff More in the Distance in there is also a little more acceptable than stuff like that. So stuff more appropriate to my age, honestly,
Right.
And not just something that an old person told me that I should probably listen to because it's good old rock and roll.
I feel like that was kind of what Petra was at this point, right?
Yes.
Like the older people were like, yeah, Petra,
Yes.
Christian rock.
Yeah, exactly. That Petra is what Hank Hill said. Like the Hank Hill quote, that Christian rock doesn't make Christianity better, just makes rock worse. That was about Petra, I'm pretty sure, But, because they were that, over their entire career, they definitely spanned kind of that, like, Allman Brothers all the way through Kansas, Journey, Led Zeppelin, kind of a little bit, maybe touching on it a little bit, that kind of stuff.
I hear some Aerosmith on this one.
Aerosmith, definitely on this one, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Who also kind of had Aerosmith kind of had a renaissance around this period, I remember. Like, so I'm sure they were kind of trying to follow their lead.
Yeah, I think this is probably right before the big breakout for Aerosmith with that song on Armageddon,
Right. Yeah.
But it was that era of Aerosmith, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember. I don't know.
So
we're going to learn that, I guess I could have said it in my history. I did listen to the part 5 episode of Excommunication Station covering Petra, which is the 5-episode arc. And in that you learn that, like, my first note on the first song is, this sounds like Carmen. Turns out it sounds like Carmen because Petra played with Carmen to produce some of his kind of rockish stuff on The Standard, I think, in the album after that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That does not surprise me
right.
at all.
Yes. Which might be how I found them.
Ooh, finding Petra through Carmen. Okay.
Yes.
It wouldn't shock me if Petra also had come to your town. This was like, I feel like Petra came to my town at some point. I don't remember if I went, but it's the type of, like, you know what I mean? They toured a lot, but they're not playing like New York City.
Right, yeah. They're playing, Memorial Coliseum in Wichita Falls. Definitely,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I actually was a Petra fan as a kid. I had some tapes.
Nice.
I remember I had This Means War. I had On Fire. And then I remember some of their really old songs. Like one of their first songs was the Coloring song. It was really popular off of More Power to Ya. I remember that one. And of course, I think this is their top played song on Spotify still. I remember Beyond Belief. There's a higher place to go beyond belief, obviously you're not registering with you based on your face. Nope. But anyway, so I remember some of it. But by this point, I think I was already getting more, like I probably had like Johnny Q Public, because this is the same year that came out and some of that other stuff.
Yes.
And I remember when this came out, looking at the cover and being like, Petra's trying to look more alternative. Because if you look at most of their other album covers, it's all like kind of more classic rock looking art. Like there's not showing pictures of the band.
Right, that Boston looking thing, you know.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, exactly. A lot of it looks like kind of like Boston or something. Yeah. And so then you see this album, you're like, interesting. And I'll be honest, I had never listened to this one. And I had just seen the artwork and I kind of thought like, well, maybe they're doing something different here. I don't really know if that's true. I mean, maybe diehard Petra fans would disagree with me.
Diehard Petra fans will definitely disagree with you because they're like, this album is completely different than all the other albums. And I'm listening to it all like, I don't hear the difference. They all sound the same to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there is a difference, absolutely. And we'll talk about it, but yeah.
Well, shall we jump in?
It's micro changes to me, whereas, yeah.
Right. Shall we jump in?
I guess so. Do we have a choice?
I mean, we do, but we did say we're doing this one, so let's get it over with.
All right. Let's do it.
Song number 1, Enter In.
All right. This is a song. I don't know how to... Here's the thing. I think at this time period, had soft rock already been invented in the sense that like people called it soft rock, or was that something a name we put back later, looking back at this time where it was like all these aging guys were writing slower rock songs?
Okay. The only reason I think that it existed is, do you ever remember watching those commercials and it would like advertise like compilations on TV? It was kind of weird, right? But there were like a lot of, I really swear they talked about like soft rock and ballads and stuff like that. So I
definitely
talked
about, I
feel like maybe that was a name. Yeah.
Okay. And this is definitely, this whole album really almost fits under more of a soft rock ballady album written by former hard rock, a little bit leaning in a little into hair metal kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And this song is going to do it too. So it opens with just some noise. I don't know why. And then it goes into this weird kind of funky guitar and drums groove. And this is what really sounds like Carmen to me, because I don't know who they're trying to go for here, but let's listen. So I don't like whoever that's for is definitely never someone who's never felt angst in their entire life. I feel like, you know, it's like burning out, burn down, burning out. I don't know. It's funky, but in a way that doesn't have any conviction behind it, you know. And it's not hair metal, and it's not soft rock, and I don't know what they're going for. Like, maybe Audio Adrenaline made stuff like this? I don't know. I didn't listen to Audio Adrenaline's early stuff.
I kind of had the same thought, right? Okay, because I had not heard this. Remember seeing the cover, remember thinking they're going more alternative rock. And my memory of Petra, again, was like that Beyond the Belief, or that song, or like... This means war, like all the more like hair metal rock stuff. And so I thought either I'm going to hear that or they're going to go more alternative sounding. And then I hear this funky shit and I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like, and same, I was like, who is this for? Who likes, I don't know.
I think when, independent stuff kind of started coming in to mainstream radio towards the end of the 80s and we got our alternative rock out of that. Right. And I think the hair metal guys just kind of died down for a few years, honestly, and good for them because they needed to. But I think what they came back with was kind of this like a little more modern rocky thing where it took some more influences from other things. But I just don't know. Here's the thing. People like it, but it's not me. And I don't know what to say about it that's nice.
Yeah, same. I honestly probably would have rather them have just stick to the straight 80s hair metal. I think I would have rather heard that than like whatever this is.
100%. Yes. It would have been, there would have been more integrity to it, you know? They were good at that and like really successful at that, you know? But this whole, we're going to change, they'd always kind of changed music a little bit, but although it kind of all sounded a little bit similar, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of always changed a little bit with the times so that it was appealing to the kids. But I'm not sure what kids this was appealing to. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think back, and everybody listening, you guys are similar to our age, I think, or you wouldn't be listening to this. You think back at youth group during this time. This is 95. So you're competing with, like you said, Audio Adrenaline, and not that first Weird album we did, but the second one,
right.
With Big House. You're competing with Newsboys. You're competing with DC Talk. Probably like other shit that we're not going to do, but like Rebecca St. James and like, I don't know what else.
Jars of Clay.
Actually, 95, right? I think.
Yeah.
Johnny Q. Public, if we've discussed other ones. Why the hell is anyone going to pick this up when there's all those others that sound at least... None of those are amazing, don't get me wrong, but they at least sound a little more like what is in the mainstream, where this just sounds pretty dated or just like weird, you know?
Right. And like Johnny Q. Public has the same roots as this does.
Right.
It's just leaning more into the harder distorted guitar type thing.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys ditched distorted, like they had distorted guitar on the album before this. And then they just decided to themselves, distorted guitar is passé. I don't know. They weren't paying attention if that's what they thought.
Yeah.
Because distorted guitar was the 90s.
And again, if they'd stuck with some of the stuff that they were doing and just put out another album of that.
Yes.
I mean,
all right. Well, we haven't even gotten to lyrics yet, so let's listen to the first verse.
All right,
here.
let's let it play a little bit.
Once a year for sacrifice, just one priest could pay the price. Step inside the inner veil to make the people free. The temple stood the same for years till the Nazarene appears. Things will never be the same since 33 AD. When he spoke and bowed his head, he who saved the world was dead. Then the earth began to shake, heaven's wall began to break, opening the holy place. The temple veil is torn in two. The way is clear for me and you.
You know, it's bouncy.
It is bouncy.
And it's, you know, it has a kind of poppy thing going to it in a certain way. But once again, I don't think it's what the kids are listening to. It's what the kids. It's what the kids' parents are listening to, maybe.
Yep.
But it's not what the kids are listening to. Yeah, I don't know.
Which is fine, but you're right. If these guys are in their mid 40s at this point, parents about that age that have like teenagers and stuff, exactly, yeah.
But they specifically said that they were aiming for the kids. If they had just said to themselves, "Hey, man, we're in our mid fucking 40s." Let's stop aiming for the fucking kids and just write music that it's meaningful to us and the people our age. That would have worked.
Yeah. I mean, Clifton, we're in our mid 40s.
Yeah.
We like what we like.
Yeah.
And that's that, right? Like,
sure. I don't want to hear any of this Generation X bullshit that's like, I don't know what that is, you know?
And I will admit, I do listen to the radio from now and again, mainly at the gym. And when I hear it, I'm just like, I do like some of the new things coming out, but a lot of it, I'm like, I don't, why is country and rap mixing together now? What the fuck is this? Yeah.
Why not, Jay?
Right. But that's the thing, right? I'm not trying to, anyway, back to Petra, but it just, you're about to play the chorus.
Yes.
I don't think the chorus is it's not terrible.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just soft rock, kind of adult contemporary stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if Michael W. Smith was like, let's let loose, let's let our hair down a little bit, he might do this.
You're right. Yeah. That's actually a really good way to put it. Okay, a couple of things I'm noticing there that really stand out. First of all, I have a problem with the way the drums sound on this whole album. They sound electronic, but they're not.
No, they are.
Okay. Because in the video, it's which is another funny thing. The video is this fucking massive. It's a rock band from the 80s. It's this fucking massive drum set, right? I don't think he has 2 bass drums, but he's got a huge rack of toms. I don't know, like 5 or 6 up top. It's just like ridiculous. And you never really hear him play them in most of these songs.
Yeah, there's no toms in any of this. Yeah.
But the drum, it sounds really electric. And then the keyboard, they're like, what the fuck is this? Again, like, this is 1995. What is this?
Yeah. It's questionable. And like, really, I'm serious. Let's go. When we finish the chorus, we're going to go back and listen to it again. And like, the only thing, I'm going to turn off the vocals, the lead vocals, because they're the only thing tying it back to hard rock, because they're doing the enter in. If you just replace it with Michael W. Smith going enter in, then it'd just be a Michael W. Smith song. All right,
true.
So I actually call this part coming up here the chorus payoff, because the chorus has a bunch of different parts to it, it seems. So that should have been a big enter in, right? But it just does this like enter in. I don't know what that was about. The next time the chorus comes around, we will hear the full thing, But okay, so let's listen to the chorus again without the lead vocals. We're only going to turn off the lead vocals. Okay. We'll still have a little bit of background vocals in here. Enter in.
You're right. It sounds so much less rock when you take those away. And even forgetting the vocals thing, even that little guitar part right then that closed out, like it's kind of back in the mix. It just way back, doesn't sound like it just doesn't sound like rock, really.
No, I know. Yeah. And that's kind of, the song for the most part. In the second verse, we get some organs in there, which is kind of fun. I don't know if let's just take a quick listen to it here.
Now without a second look, we forget what all it took to be seen as innocent by his holy eyes. Never thinking foolishly, there is something he won't see for a lack of righteousness.
But it's just kind of the way that like the late 80s, early 90s use organs, where it's just like right in the middle of the second verse, it's like meow, just adds a little something. And bah, bah. But that's very typical for this time period.
Yep.
I do want to listen to the end of the second chorus, because we do get a little bit more of the kind of hair metal into the chorus.
We can approach his throne of grace. We can enter in a new and living way. By our faith he will receive us when we pray.
a little bit of that Harriman, kind of thing going on there, which is nice. I think it's what it needs. It's the payoff that it deserves. The guitar solo is fine. I'm glad that it's not kind of stuff, but it's fine. Right here, we get a little bit of noise introduced back in, and I'm going to turn it up so that we can hear it more. I don't know what that's all about, but it was a boring part of the song, I guess, and they just needed to do something to it.
Yeah, I mean, another thing about this, and this goes for a lot of these kind of more, I would say, like CCM albums that we cover, it's just like they're so overproduced. It's
Yes.
like, how many times did they go back through and just add shit in?
Mhm.
Like, oh my God.
Oh, we're losing people's attention right here. Do a little thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
And Grandpa fell asleep. The chorus repeats itself over and over again after that point, and it fades out. So we're not going to listen to it do that.
Okay.
Shall we do there's so many lyrics.
Yeah, and these, I'm just going to apologize to all our listeners. These are very, you're going to see Sunday schoolish.
Okay.
I'll volunteer to read these.
Thank you.
Like.
You do the first one.
Okay. Once a year for sacrifice, just one priest could pay the price and step inside the inner veil to make the people free. Temples stood the same for years till the Nazarene appears. Things will never be the same since 33 AD. This sounds like fucking Dr. Seuss. When he spoke and bowed his head, he who saved the world was dead. Then the earth began to shake, heaven's walls began to break. Opening the holy place, the temple veil is torn in two. The way is clear for me and you. We can enter into heaven's holy place. We can enter in boldly by his blood. We can approach his throne of grace. We can enter in a new and living way. By our faith, he will receive us when we pray. Now, without a second look, we forgot what all it took to be seen as innocent by his holy eyes. Never thinking foolishly, there is something he won't see. For our lack of righteousness, there is no disguise. He won't look the other way. Someone's life will have to pay. Once for it, all has been done, taken out upon his son. He remembers it no more. Now for us, he is the door opened up forevermore. And then it's basically just the chorus. Okay.
It's actually a little bit different chorus.
Oh, you want me to read it?
Sorry.
We can enter in. We can enter in his gates with thankfulness and praise. You're right. Into the once forbidden holy place. We can live in goodness and in mercy all our days. We can enter in a new and living way. By our faith, he will receive us when we pray. We don't have to be afraid to seek his face. We can enter in. Now, Clifton, I was not sure who does. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but do we know who penned these lyrics?
We don't. There was one song that was the next song. Think Twice is specifically written. It does say it's specifically written by Bob Hartman.
Okay.
And this one did not say that, so I don't know, honestly.
Right.
Yeah. So, this is some pretty dense stuff, I think, for, and especially because Petra's thing was always like, we're going to reach the kids, It's not like obviously Christians are always just preaching to the choir,
Right.
But Petra was always very much of the, like, we're going to bring the kids to Jesus through rock and roll kind of thing. But this is pretty dense. This is, it gets into probably the most theologically thick part of the first three synoptic gospels, which is the tearing of the temple veil. And what that signifies.
Unless they're targeting, Jewish schools or something.
Right, yeah. And even then, I don't think Jewish schools learn about the temple, that much these days.
Yeah,
Judaism has moved on since then. So I don't know that they would have a good understanding of what this was supposed to mean. But yeah, so it's basically talking about, in all three synoptic gospels, when Jesus dies, the temple veil is torn. I think in one of them, maybe the temple veil tears at a slightly different place, maybe Luke. But in general, the idea is supposed to be, I guess, that that Jesus has now paid the price once and for all for sin, and so there's no need to do sacrifices in the temple anymore, and that it took sacrifice for one man to become clean to walk in and lay our sacrifices before God, being the head priest, but now everybody's welcome to come to the feet of God. That's kind of the idea here. But I feel like you could have just said that.
Yeah.
You could like made a metaphor out of it instead of literally just quoting almost the Sunday school kind of fill in the blanks, like, okay, now what happened when the sacrifice? That's right, the temple veil tore. And what is the temple? Oh, it's really thick, right? It's like a foot thick, everybody. How wide is a foot? It's this wide, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. The second verse is fun, though. At least it's like, and then after that sacrifice, what did we do? We shit on it. We shit on it. We shit on everything that's clean. But he won't forget. Yeah. For our lack of righteousness, there is no disguise. He won't look the other way. Why? Well, nah, never mind. That's a. I don't want to get into apologetics. They're stupid. All right, Jay. Is there anything else about this that we need to say out loud with our mouths?
No,
okay.
Nothing at all.
Cool. Fun. Everyone have fun with that?
Do you want to talk about the video?
Yes. The video is...
I mean, pretty much what you would think of with this song. It starts off with a priest
walking into the Holy of Holies, and there's even the Ark of the Covenant there. But then you know who else is with the Ark of the Covenant, Jay?
Petra!
The fucking band!
I know, I was like, is this sacrilege? This feels a bit weird when I saw them all in there.
But then slowly throughout the song, other people enter in.
That's
other
true.
Than the priest.
And they make sure they get both genders, races. There's
old
like a black
people.
kid coming in there, old people. Yeah, it's like they got them all. I mean.
Yeah. Did you see the rope that was tied around the priest's waist?
Yeah. I mean, this all like they did pretty authentic.
Yeah. I mean, for this whole thing being shot in the corner of a warehouse, it was pretty well done, I think.
This was a thing too, though, right? Growing up in the church, it was kind of like, people would show how much they knew by knowing about all this Hebrew shit, right?
Yeah.
Like by knowing about all this. So the fact that Petra's putting all this in there is kind of like, oh yeah, we know this. We're good Christians.
You're pastor kid bros, right? Not your pastor's kids, but like the kids who want to be pastors when they grow up.
Yeah, exactly. Because most of the pastor kids are like, fuck this. Like causing problems, yeah.
But yes, it's needlessly obtuse, opaque. What's somewhere in between obtuse and opaque? Like obtuse is purposefully not understanding something, and opaque is it being too hard to understand. What's in the middle of that? Yeah, that's where. Whatever the intersection of those things is where we are.
Right.
Because I refuse to understand that you could just say this in simpler terms.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So we're not going to do all the songs in depth because, okay.
We want this podcast to keep going after this. It might be the last episode if we do.
There's going to be like 4 people are going to be really mad at us for not paying more attention to this album. Okay. We are doing the second song, Think Twice, which also has a music video.
I do want to talk about the video for this one for sure.
Definitely. Okay, so we're not going to listen to the entire song. I just want to give you a taste of what it's like. I'm going to start here around 36 seconds in. Okay. Kind of just like we're right before the chorus. There's violins on this song. It's kind of a up its own ass hard rock ballad, I would say. It's harder than the song before, but not as hard as the next song.
Okay.
Wait just a minute. Hey, did you ever think twice? Something inside says stay away. Hey, did you ever think twice? When there's still time, you can go the other way. Hey, did you ever think twice? If you don't bother, gonna pay the price. Hey, did you ever think
Jay, I spent too long looking for a song that I can't find. And I don't know what the lyrics are, but it goes something like, hey, when the lights come down, or something like that, you know? I was definitely thinking of Collective Soul's Shine. And I can't find it, but that's been stuck in my head. Instead of this song getting stuck in my head, whatever this song is ripping off, it keeps getting stuck in my head.
Okay, right.
Yeah. That's the song. Basically, pretty hard rocky, you know. Once again, I think if you took out those lead vocals, it would be way less hard rock, though. Let's listen to it. I don't know.
When I first listened through this, when this song came on, I was like, okay, this sounds a little bit more like Petra.
Yeah.
But still not great. I mean, you could hear it right there when you played without the vocals. It just sounds so produced.
So overproduced, yes.
Like, like robotic or something. I don't know. It just doesn't sound normal or natural.
There's even some, like, let's go back here and listen to it a little bit. I'm just going to turn on everything that isn't like guitar or bass or drums or vocals. Moises just kind of shoves into its own track down here called Other. I'm going to just isolate Other here and play it because there's some weird noises going on in the background here. But did you hear it there? It's like on top. I mean, we know the drums are electronic, but it's like they almost have a double beat behind them that's like a shkle, shkle. Right there. And it, I think it adds to the song, but it is a weird thing to add to a song.
Yeah.
Let's do these lyrics real quickly. It starts off by, this is the one that's written by Bob Hartman. And it says that it's based on 2 Timothy 2:22. Let me read that for you real fast.
Okay, thank you.
Flee youthful passions and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace, along with those who call on the Lord from a pure heart.
I'm just going to guess, though, this song is more about fleeing youthful passions rather than pursuing righteousness, love, and peace.
Really? Okay, let's see. All right. You can think of times when you had the right chance. You can make a choice when nobody could see. You could think of ways of defending your deeds, justify the way that you want to be. Wait just a minute. Hey, did you ever think twice? Something inside says stay away. Hey, did you ever think twice? When there's still time, you can go the other way. Hey, did you ever think twice? If you don't stop, you're going to pay the price. Hey, did you ever think twice? You can think of things that you wanted to try. You can think of things that you wish you could see. You could go a way that would seem so right, thinking of a place that you wish you could be. Wait just a minute. Face to face with sin, you better think again. Take another look for a second time and give a second thought to where you draw the line. Wait just a minute. You're right, Jay. Almost nothing in there about, pursuing righteousness, love, faith, and peace.
But Avoiding sin. There we go.
That's what we love to do, is just be afraid of sin all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the video?
Yeah. Yeah, the video is pretty great.
Yeah, and I will say at first, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is just, I don't even know what's going on here. Like, it's just got a bunch of jump shots between the band and some weird background colors and whatever. But then, I don't know, 30 seconds into it or 45 seconds, we start to get a little bit of a story with it. And wow.
Do we need to watch the whole thing?
I don't think so, but when I'll just say it, when the woman appears,
okay, I want
things
her.
get
Yes.
interesting.
So she comes in sometime around here, maybe. There's the apple. So an apple rolls into the scene. It basically is just the band playing in front of a bunch of sheets that have different color lights shined on them, and it's pretty boring. It's just like wind is blowing and the band is playing. But an apple rolls in on the floor or something like that. I don't know, or a table. And then all of a sudden we get like these little like short little shots of a very attractive woman in a little black dress, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
No context to it. There she is. She's just walking, I guess.
Walking up to this young dude. He looks about 18, 20 maybe.
Yeah. Gets in his face.
Very close. Very sensual.
Yeah, and then she dances around him while he's sitting there.
Mm-hmm. And we're waiting. Oh. And
flames have burst out while she's dancing.
Yeah, there's literally fire there. And now there's more fire in the background as she leans in, kind of looking very seductive towards him.
And the guy kind of gives up and closes his eyes and enjoys it. But then he wakes up and runs.
He runs from her, and so she's left standing, kind of holding the edge of the chair as he's run off, and there's still flames in the background. I mean, this is so fucking on the nose. Like, the woman as the seductress. Like, they could have talked about anything else. They could have shot any other version because the song is not that explicit about what they mean.
Then right here, this is my favorite part. That apple that rolled in earlier, her hand slowly comes into frame and wraps around the apple.
Yeah.
And we see her taking a bite.
With fire still in the background. But, like, they could have picked any other scenario. But, of course, they went with this. Well, yeah, and, of course, it's the woman who's the one that's tempting. Mm-hmm. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, they were big into the purity culture thing. We were touring with James Dopp. No, not James. What's his name?
Josh McDowell.
Josh McDowell.
Yeah.
They were big into the purity culture thing with that, and there's not as much Christian nationalism on this album, at least on the songs that we're going to cover, as previous albums, but they'd been big into that as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. And then at the end of the video, she puts the apple back with one bite out of it. Because once you have a bite taken out of you, you're never the same. Oh, my God. Who wants to eat a previously eaten apple?
Not me.
Yeah. Who wants to chew already chewed gum?
Right. Oh,
Girls.
Jesus.
You're worthless without your virginity. All right. All right. We're going to skip on quickly to the next song, Heart of a Hero, which is maybe the best hard rock song on the album.
Yeah, I definitely got like Aerosmith vibes from this song.
We're going to skip forward a little bit in the song to about 40 seconds in and listen to a little snippet here. But yeah, this is kind of their hair metal track for the album. And really one of the few ones because there's a lot of goddamn ballads on this album.
Yeah.
Son of Jesse proved what God can do in the heart of
Never in this song, though, do we get a really good payoff for Heart of a Hero. They need to do that, but they never do.
Yeah.
That's it, though. That's a song. Want to read these lyrics real fast?
Yeah, this is another Sunday school song, as you'll
Yes,
see.
it is.
So, the fearless giant faces a brave young shepherd boy. He said, "Your God is dead, and your nation soon destroyed." But the son of Jesse proved what God can do in the heart of a hero. 3 men refused to bow to the idol made of gold. They knew they could burn for not doing what they're told. They'd rather face the fire than kneel to a God made by hands. It takes the heart of a hero to stand for what's right. It takes the heart of a hero to lay down your life. There are idols to be worshipped and giants in the land. They'll drag you down, attack your faith, and slay you if they can. So let your heart be filled with courage and strength of the Lord. Have the faith of a child and the power of God, and when you call on his name, he will give you the heart of a hero. Will you stand for what's right? Would you lay down your life? Do you have a heart?
Do you have a heart? Do I have a heart?
I don't have the heart of a hero. Not like this.
So we basically got, the story of David and Goliath, and then the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And yeah, it's first off, I don't think Goliath is ever quoted as saying your God is dead, your nation soon destroyed, but that's fun,
Yep.
If it was said at the time, it'd be probably pretty on the nose, the best God was the God of the strongest nation back then, it's just, yeah. I really do like the three men refused to bow to the idol made of gold. They'd rather face the fire than to kneel to a God made by hands, which is fun because we know that until very late, really, in Judea religion, they had idols that they used just to depict their gods. They weren't worshiping the idols. They were worshiping the gods that the idols depicted. And that's also true of all these other nations that have idols made of hands, that they're worshiping the gods that the idols depict, not the idol itself, right? But but once you decide that your religion is not only the right one, but is morally superior to everyone else, it's very fun to just be like, they're worshiping these little things over here and carved by hand. And me, I'm just worshiping the invisible. It's pretty fun. All right, we're going to blow through one more song here called More Than 1,000 Words. Here's what I know about this song, Jay. It's not very popular. A lot of people thought it was the worst song on the album, maybe.
And that's saying something.
Yeah. We're just going to play a little snippet. I don't even know if we'll do the lyrics on this one.
I saw your picture hanging on the wall. Just an artist's rendering, that was all. The way you looked down in your agony jogged my memory and helped me to see if the picture's worth 1,000 words, then it won't help me at all. Only words are never gonna say what I feel for you today. More than 1,000 words won't say, more than my life will not repay, more than 1,000 things I do won't make it up to you. I stopped
So boring.
I also just want to remind everyone, this came out in 1995,
Yeah.
not 1985.
It could have.
Yeah, that's the problem, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
again,
just so
nothing wrong with doing the same style of music for forever.
No.
I love some ska bands that have never changed, but this is just weird. I don't know. This is just, yeah, I'm not into this.
Just a hair metal power ballad.
Yeah.
All right. moving on to track 5, No Doubt. This is the title track of the album. I did find a I don't know if I sent it to you, Jay. Probably not. I probably forgot. But I found a message board kind of thing.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah, where like of Petra fans talking about albums. Yeah. Called thepetrazone.net. Okay. And back in 2005 or so, they did a polls of like a little bit over time, like of each album, like what's your favorite songs on the album, what are your thoughts on the album. And this song was voted the second best song on the album after the opening track, Enter In. And then the track after this was the final track of the album that we're going to do, which I can't remember the name of right now, is called We Hold Our Hearts Out to You. This is kind of one of those, I mean, you're going to recognize immediately. It just has that kind of like piano and wavering organ kind of ballad type thing that you've heard 1,000 fucking times. And it takes like a minute before the band comes in. That's how it's going to start.
Wonderful.
I think my description was pretty on.
Yeah.
There are times when you feel like you can't go on. There are times when you feel like giving in. And there are times when you feel like you can't try anymore. There are times of trouble in believing. This test of your faith will last as long as it takes to pass. Do you have no more doubt you'll endure? And your faith will emerge true and pure. No doubt it'll be alright. With God it'll all work together for good. No doubt in the end it will be understood. No doubt it'll all work out. With faith we can move any mountain for us. No doubt in the power of Jesus. And after all is done, we find out all we really need to have is no doubt. There's a time to take a reckless leap of faith. There's a time to be cautious and wait.
If you've never heard Petra before, you might have heard that before. All we really need to have is no doubt. Okay.
I'm speechless.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about the rest of the song. There is a bridge that's entirely predictable. Like what do you do for a bridge exactly after like what we just finished from, is going to be what happens here.
Okay.
There's no doubt there will be winters in the seasons of our soul, with the cold and bitter wind that chills our lives. But our faith can be building a fire that will warm us till springtime arrives. No doubt it'll be alright.
I don't know what to say about it. It's just boring. It's a power ballad about not having doubt. Are we done with the episode yet?
Yeah. I think this definitely was pushed as a single for this album.
No, it
right?
was, yeah. Even though this one doesn't have a video, it was definitely pushed as a single for the album. Yeah.
Okay.
This album did not do great on the charts, though. It opened...
Really?
Yeah.
Really, Clifton?
I mean, for Petra, that's actually surprising. This is the first album of theirs. It started off like number 1 or 2 in the Christian charts, but then like fell off the charts immediately, like within 2 weeks.
I would love to know what was staying at the top at that time.
I mean, probably DC Talk and Jars of Clay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is the summer of 05, so everything's out. I mean, not
95.
everything, but sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll read these lyrics real fast, or slow because there's a lot of them again. There are times when you feel like you can't go on. There are times when you feel like giving in. And there are times when you feel like you can't try anymore. There are times of trouble in believing. This test of your faith will last as long as it takes to pass. Till you have no more doubt, you'll endure. And your faith will emerge true and pure. No doubt it'll be all right. With God, it'll all work out together for good. No doubt in the end it will be understood. No doubt it'll all work out. With faith, He can move any mountain for us. No doubt in the power of Jesus. And after all is done, we find out all we really need to have is no doubt. There's a time to take a reckless leap of faith. There's a time to be cautious and wait. And there's a way of learning from the past that this time of trouble won't last. And sometimes we want to think we know the ways He will choose to make us grow. But it's never the way of our choosing, and we can't always see what He's using. There will be winters in the season of our soul, with cold and bitter wind that chills our lives. But our faith can be building a fire that will warm us till springtime arrives. So, yeah.
Yeah, speechless.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, once again, it could be a Michael W. Smith song. It's your standard fare. Everything's going to be fine. Just trusting God. Don't question Him. Trusting God. Did I say don't question Him? Did I say don't fucking question Him? You don't have the right. Did you create the mountains? Did you slay the Leviathan? Come on. Yeah, that's all.
You make a good point when it could be a Michael W. Smith song. It's like, it's so interesting that it's basically the same lyrics, the same, in some ways, music. You're right, just the vocals are different.
Yeah.
And just kind of repackaged a little bit more edgy and rocky, but the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm. You know, they did they did that one praise album, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do another one after this. The next album is actually a praise album. And then they do it's called Petra Praise 2, We Need Jesus. Then they do another praise album after that called Revival. But honestly, minus 2 or 3 songs, you could just call this a praise album.
Yeah. I mean, the song we're about to do, I think, definitely falls.
Absolutely. So let's get to the last song, yes. Because this is absolutely just meant to be a praise song.
Yeah. And it's interesting because Christian music pretty much became all praise and worship, I'd say, like, once the kind of early 2000s came around. I mean, now there really is no Christian music for the most part, and it kind of all went to praise type stuff. And so it's interesting. They were one of the first ones, especially with that album in '89, doing that.
Well, you know, they were one of the first like hard rock bands to do it, definitely. Some other like soft rockers, kind of like what's his name? Green. What's his name?
Keith Green.
You know, did praise stuff. There's other people out there, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're definitely one of the kind of like first rock bands to do a praise album. And that first one came off of, like I said, that's why I wanted to read that paragraph from Wikipedia, because basically they just went to a bunch of youth group leaders and was like, what can we do to help you? And they were like, make a praise album.
And here we go.
Yeah. And so this is another song just very much in that vein, kind of written to be a worship praise song. I think the problem with all the songs on this album, as far as being good praise songs, is there's just so many words. You know, a lot of the praise songs that last have just a few words to them. They're pretty simple. True. They're very repetitive. Whereas these songs just have so many lyrics.
Right.
But yeah, immediately it's going to start off with acoustic guitar and you're going to be like, oh, this is a praise song.
Yeah, huh?
Here we are gathered once again under your name, thinking of the ways we all have caused you shame. But we can find consolation in the things that you said. We are all bound in our hearts by a common thread. We look to you who made us one, to give us strength and bring our hearts back to where we begun.
Yeah, way too long for a first opening verse. But, you know, it has that kind of like, na, 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 kind of thing to it, you know. We'll talk. Okay, let's get through this and then we'll talk about lyrics. It's hard not to immediately start talking about the lyrics for this one because that's all it's about. So we do go to a chorus here.
So together we hold all our hearts out to you, and we all can believe you know just what to do. Heal and forgive us, make us all just like new. Jesus, we hold our hearts out to you. Jesus, we hold our hearts out to you.
So even though this is clearly a praise song, it still has some of that like late 80s love song kind of bullshit going on with it, you know? One thing I really loved, you know, you're going to hear this more later in the song, but I made a note here that says, where a normal song would insert baby, Christians just say Jesus.
Yeah. It's like was it Cartman that did that on South Park?
Yeah.
Where yeah.
I know it wasn't an original observation, but it's just so hard not to make that observation while listening to this. But yeah, it just ends up being kind of a soft rock praise song, you know, in the end. I do want to listen to the end a little bit because it has a little more kind of freeform type stuff going on to it. But you have any other notes before then?
No.
And when we hold out all our lost and shattered dreams, you will be binding every heart with broken seams. With the warm and loving hand, you understand. So together we hold all our hearts out to you, and we all can believe you know just what to do. Heal and forgive us, make us all just like new. Jesus, we hold our hearts out to you. Jesus, we hold our hearts out to you.
All right. If everyone will open their Bibles to John chapter 5. Today we're going to be talking about, okay. I do want to look here a little bit at, there's kind of this section right here. Turn off the vocals. But I think there's like a banjo or something back here. maybe a sitar, maybe?
That's
don't
what
know.
I thought. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of like, yeah, it sounded more like a sitar. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that Bob played banjo on some of the early stuff. That's why I thought maybe it was a banjo at first, but yeah. Let's do these lyrics real fast, Jay. I mean fast, like read them as fast. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
We are gathered once again under your name, thinking of ways we have all caused you shame. Yeah. Anyway, but we can find consolation in the things that you said. We are all bound in our hearts by a common thread. We look to you who made us one, to give us strength and bring our hearts back to where we've begun. So together we hold all our hearts out to you, and we all can believe you know just what to do. Heal and forgive us, make us all just like new. Jesus, we hold our hearts out to you. Sometimes we forget what it is that brings us here. Sometimes we forget what it means to being sincere. And there are times we are bothered when we don't seem to feel. Then we focus on the one who makes things real. We look around and we feel strong. We feel your presence and we know that this is where we belong. When we hold out all our lost and shattered dreams, you will be binding every heart with broken seams with a warm and loving hand. You understand.
I find the first verse into the chorus thing really funny because it's basically like a description of church. Here we are, gathered under your name. The next part is exclusively evangelicals, thinking of all the ways we caused you pain or shame, you know. But the next part just goes back to describing verse. We can find consolation in the things you said. We'll do that. We're gonna read the Bible here in a minute. You know, we're all our hearts are bound by a common thread. You, we look to the one who made us one. You brought us all together. You know, to give us strength in our hearts. So you know, here we are. We lift our hearts out to you. Oh, this is the praise and worship part of the service. You know, and we can believe, you know, that. You know just what to do for some reason. Heal and forgive us, make us like new, because that's why we're here, is because we feel like shit for all the things that we did, so we got to come here and make ourselves feel good again every week. Jesus, we hold our hearts out to you.
Yep.
But the line that really did hit me when I was first listening to this first time is the second line. Thinking of ways we all have caused you shame. Is once again, as you pointed out with the 2 Timothy 2:2 thing, focusing on only the negative part, not any of the positive parts.
Yep.
Other than, can you make me not feel the shame that I feel? Because I think that's my job for some reason. All right, Jay, what'd you think of this album overall?
I am so happy I don't have to listen to it anymore.
Me too.
But you said the right thing actually at the very beginning. Who is this for? That's what I actually had trouble with. It's just like, I don't, genre-wise, I don't really know where this falls. And not like something cool, like I don't know how, you know, not like that. Not like the Javelina Rail Company album or Daniel's Son or something. Like, not like that.
No.
This is just more like, it's not really 80s.
It's too modern rock for the metalheads.
Yeah.
It's too metal for the modern rock fans.
Like, you know, hair metal. Like, yeah, not like, yeah, right.
Right, yeah. It's, a few people on that message board did say that they thought that this album has some of the best ballads that
yeah. Okay, if you're into that.
Schlitt area of Petra ever did, you know? And it does have a lot of ballads, so it was good odds that they were going to be on this album, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's, you know, if they had just said, hey, we're making an album for the oldies, you know, guys, for the old guys, that's a little more introspective. Good job. That's what you did.
Yeah.
But why are the lyrics so fucking... Okay, here we go. I'm going to read this fan review, okay, Jay?
Go ahead.
So, by the way, it's this is in response to that poll thing, you know, where everyone's voting for their favorite song on the album and then talking about the album some. So he starts off with, I voted for the song No Doubt, somewhat of a bright spot on this album that is so horrible that I no longer own a copy. The only Petra album to get this distinction. The drums were downright embarrassing, Plus, the overall sound quality and production was awful. I thought the lyrics were 5th grade Sunday school lyrics and seemed childish and really coming from an artist just starting out and really hadn't got his chops down yet. Nothing on this album said Petra to me. I'm a rocker at heart, so you know it's bad when someone like me thinks the only thing that I might be willing to save on an album is a ballad. How can an artist put out a great album like the one before this, I forget the name of it, 2 years prior, and then come out with something like this? In my opinion, this was not the beginning of the downfall of Petra. This was Petra jumping off a cliff thinking that they needed a new fan base. This was the time that a lot of fans from the 80s said, I'm done and out. And I don't even acknowledge this album in Petra's discography.
Wow, okay.
That is by far the worst review on the message board. Some people liked it. One guy said that this is his favorite Petra album. But I think overall the thought was, it's definitely a lesser Petra album.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, just a lot of ballads and not a great. I think they almost like forced themselves to experiment. Then Petra kind of always does this to some extent. They kind of forced themselves to experiment with things that they thought the kids would reach the kids, but they didn't do them very well.
Yeah.
All right. The cover, is a cover.
Not
Let me
good.
open it up real fast and share it with you, Jay.
I, again, would have rather had like classic Petra cover than whatever this is.
Yeah.
This feels lazy. I don't know. This is just, yeah.
And so, remember that, what is the, it's actually the same year, the 1995 Plankeye album also has like this picture where they're all in it and it's kind of stretched vertically because they're so used to doing cassettes probably,
Right. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of stretched.
Yeah. But it's definitely, two of the guys look pretty young and the other guys look older. Definitely.
But they're all like that one guy's wearing a vest over a t-shirt.
Yes.
Louis
it's
the drummer.
90s, man.
Louis the drummer's wearing sort of a flannel shirt open and a baseball cap. Like they just... John Schlitz got this...
wait, his hat is plaid. That's kind of
Oh,
cool.
with Mickey on it because he's into
always,
Mickey.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
John Schlitz got like, I don't know what the hell his shirt is, but it's got like, he's wearing a silver cross.
Yeah.
This whole
giant
thing,
cross.
This whole thing is just like, I don't know, like somebody dressed them for the, like, this is what we think the kids are into these days. Wear this.
He definitely, John Schlitz definitely bought this shirt from Arizona Jean Company.
Yeah. Oh man! And that one guy next to him, I think is the other guitarist. He looks like pretty young. He like looks like he's
the guitarist
20s.
And the keyboardist are both pretty young. Yes, they're new to the band, but they leave after this album, both of them.
Well, I can't blame them.
There's not much else to talk about, honestly, with the album art.
What the fuck is that on the back? Is that legs on the back? Like what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the backs of people sitting around at probably a show or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There is this weird, like one of those things that you stare at and it says something, I can never
like a
see
magic
these.
eye.
Yeah.
Oh, I see how it says Petra, like kind of at an angle.
Yeah, but inside it's supposed to say no. It's supposed to say doubt with an X through it or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, weird.
Yeah, everything else is straight out of the early 90s. Even though this is 95, it's straight out of the early 90s kind of aesthetic, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say. And then it's a fourfold thing, and then the inside is all just lyrics. So with some black and white photos.
Yeah, of their faces. And
Yes.
I didn't need to see John Schlitt's face that close, but now I have.
Yes. Just in case you wanted to see that sharp nose.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Jay. That's the album, I guess.
We did it.
Yay! I was gonna make a joke and say, "Come on here and say we can't do any more bad albums," but we'd be out of albums so quickly if we did that.
No, we'll do more bad ones, but hopefully not another Petra one.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
don't
do
worry.
more Petra album.
Maybe. There's plenty of bad album. That's
Yeah.
not a problem.
You listen to Petra. We can probably have Chaz on to talk about it. He loved Petra, early Petra.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Maybe someone else out there wants to talk about Petra. Let us know if you want to talk about Petra. We'll let you...
Wait a while.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, we don't want to do any more no more Petra this year. Clifton, where are they now?
After the basic failure of this album, I think they kind of like longed for those glory days of their high as, out there touring with Josh McDowell, So they set out to do another praise album, Petra Praise 2, We Need Jesus, which came out in 1997. And they made a few other albums in there, another praise album, like I said, called Revival or something like that, I forget. They made 20 studio albums over their entire career. Finishing with in 2003 with Jekyll and Hyde, which is kind of like a prog rock kind of, but also return to roots kind of thing for them. That one was actually produced by Peter Fuller of Newsboys and on his In Pop label. The band had almost 30 different members over all the years. They officially disbanded in 2005, although they were almost immediately back together again, like 2 years later, doing a reunion show. And they've done reunion shows off and on over the years. Between 2010 and 2012, there was a kind of like Newsboys has the old school Newsboys kind of, there was also a band called Classic Petra, which was just one of the 80s lineups of Petra that did a few like reunion tours type thing. They've never stopped. And if you open up their Spotify, you literally have to scroll down halfway through their discography just to get to their last album. Their last studio album is halfway down their discography because everything is filled with like retrospectives and best ofs and everything.
Yeah.
They put out so many best of albums since then.
It was a pain just finding this album on there because this is definitely not one of their top ones.
No, it's not. I don't know where they are now technically. I didn't look, but that's what I have.
Okay. I'll take it. We don't need to talk about them anymore.
Yeah.
Do you have an award for this album, Clifton?
It's the soft rock album that is missing that final, oh! It never got in there. I don't know whether you would call that award, but that's the award I'm giving it.
Okay. Clifton, what are we doing next time?
We're going to, once again, do a pretty hefty U-turn here. Although this is only 2 years later, 1997. We're going to do Silage's Watusi, Sublime release. I think one of the first 3 Sublime releases, is that right?
I think it seems like that early on, definitely for that label.
Yeah. This is a weird one. This is on your list. Although I definitely listen to it, but not a lot because it's weird. Genre bending. Should we say that?
Yeah, I remember some, but not all. So I'm curious how this is going to go.
Okay. I think I remember definitely My Car Makes Me Sin. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Your Music Saved Us.
If you enjoyed your time with us, please leave us a review or share this episode. Visit patreon.com/YMSU to contribute and get extended episodes. Visit our website, yourmusicsavedus.com, to find out all the ways to listen. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Join our Facebook group or follow us to keep up with the latest or interact with us. And send complaints and disagreements to yourmusicsavedus@gmail.com.
The music in this episode is the work of Petra and is used with apologies, not permission. I don't know if you can buy this stuff or not, but who knows?
It looks like Petra has a website, petraband.com.
There There you go. There's also petrareunion.com. I don't know what the difference is, but the Petra Reunion one is advertised on Spotify.
Oh, you're right. Oh, maybe Petra Reunion is the official one now that I'm looking at it. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you can buy on Petra Reunion. So.
All right. If you want to support them, go to petrareunion.com. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, y'all.